gentlemen, welcome back to the Turf Talk podcast. This is episode 7, and on today's episode, we're going to be unpacking week 12 of the NFL season, as well as giving our NFL power rankings, some news, and even a little bit of NFL trivia to see if we know what we're talking about. So, boys, are we ready?
Oh, yes, born ready.
All right, without further ado, let's get into this exciting pile of news we've got waiting for us. Either of you want to take it?
I want to take it,
you want to take it? Okay,
yeah. I'm gonna take the first bite.
Go for it.
I did not expect this. I actually sent this one to Nick when I first saw it because I'm like, Giants bench Daniel Jones.
It got to happen eventually.
Well, no, I wasn't like surprised, but like, I mean, they paid this guy how much money? And now his ass is sitting on the bench. But that's not what I was expecting to wake up to. But I mean, I'm happy for the Giants. I think this is a huge forward step for them because we all know Daniel Jones sucks.
That's not what Sunday said, but I think what I was more not looking what I was more not I don't know what I'm trying to say. I was not expecting them to release him.
Exactly. That's what I was
benching him, yes. Releasing him, I did not expect him to, one, ask for, or two, them grant it. And they did both.
Yep.
And it honestly looked bad for both of them because, well, not both of them, it looked bad for New York because Tommy DeVito ain't him, and you didn't get the W on Sunday, which I knew wasn't going to happen. You're playing the Bucs, so.
Yeah, that's facts. But, I mean, it's giving other guys a chance, and the Bucs are a really good team, so fuck Daniel Jones. He sucks.
I hope Drew Lock gets his chance this week, as Tommy DeVito has recently been talked about being injured. So.
Drew Lock.
Nick, I know you're not a big Drew Lock guy, but I can't wait. I hope he plays this week.
We saw when Drew Lock played for the Seahawks.
I'm hoping for the best for him. I wish the best for him.
You can't say anything bad about him. I mean, he loved Denver. He did what he could.
Yep.
I'm now at a point now where it's like any good ball from him, I'm happy for him. And what do the Giants have to lose?
Exactly.
If it generates some juice, let it happen.
It's kind of funny that Drew Lock has played for like your team, then he went to my team, played for my team.
Now he's playing for New York.
We're both supporting him on the Giants. So.
And you know what? If he plays well, I won't feel as bad as if I would if we didn't have a quarterback.
I was going to say, it's got to help a little bit. We have Bo.
So. Right.
I'm really surprised the Seahawks even let him go from the start. I mean, I thought
they were going to re-sign him just for security reasons.
Yeah. Solid backup right there.
Because you really didn't have an idea if Geno was going to get hurt this season or if he was going to linger from last year's injuries. You have no idea.
Now you're playing Sam Howell on an offense that's unfamiliar to everybody. I mean.
Yeah. Nick, why don't you get us to the next piece?
Staying with the Giants, they signed former Broncos tight end Greg Dulcich, who was cut. He's been a healthy scratch a few weeks in a row now.
I wanted you to take this only because you texted me yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. My days are blurring.
Yesterday.
I'm in finals in college. We were all going through a little bit of hell right now in college. Nick, you got a big test tomorrow.
Yep. I got the week off.
I got the I got the text from you that you were like not happy about when we released him. But to me, it's like he was a waste of a roster spot. He wasn't playing anyways. He hasn't done shit in 3 seasons.
But I was hoping he would be better, especially after that Chargers
eventually.
game a few years
Of course,
ago.
not eventually. Of course, and I hope eventually he does get better. But at least in our team, he sucked in the 3 years we were there. He couldn't stay healthy, and when he was healthy, he didn't play good football. And at the beginning of the year, they tried to give him his chance, and he dropped every pass Bo ever threw his way.
Granted that I didn't know this guy was on the Broncos, I think it's a pretty good sign that he didn't really do shit for the Broncos. So, I mean, I support them dropping him, and I mean, let's see what the Giants
I'm not going to be mad if he works out for another team. I don't want his career to go to shit because he has potential. He has all the skill set. He's tall. He's athletic. And it's weird that he can't catch the ball this year because when he was healthy with Russell Wilson on our team, he was like our biggest threat.
That's what
Chargers
he does.
Game. Yeah, the Chargers game. He was fantastic. So to see this now, it's kind of whatever. But speaking of LA teams, Rams wide receiver Demarcus Robinson was arrested after Sunday night's game with a DUI where the police clocked him going 100 miles per hour. I'm laughing at it, but in all honesty, this shit pisses me off. Why are athletes so fucking stupid when it comes to this shit?
So often.
You have money. You have it all. Now, I'm not saying that should make you happy, but what are you out there speeding and doing dumb shit after football games?
Yep.
Like, bro, you've got all the financial security.
You're not just hurting yourself, but you're hurting your team in the long run when you think about it.
And possibly other people
you're hurting civilians on the road if anything were to happen.
You're putting others in danger.
Look at Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, he's...
prime example. He would have been great.
Had a future ahead of him. And I'm not saying he's a bad person because of it, but it's like dumb decisions. No. And he could have killed whoever was on the street that night. And thankfully that didn't happen. She did sustain injuries, right? That night. Yes. I don't believe she passed away, thankfully. But, it's just stupid stuff like that with athletes that I don't like. I'm tired of seeing it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what kind of consequences are going to come with it. I didn't pay much mind into it. I didn't read into it too much. It was just a headline that came across. I thought we'd throw it out there. This one's a little weird, too. So today, on the Pat McAfee show, I don't know if either of you tuned in. I had it playing on the side while I was doing some schoolwork. Aaron Rodgers said he is now unsure if he'll play next season. And if he does play, he would like it to be for the Jets. Now, here's the thing. Take it with a grain of salt because what else is he going to say? I don't want to play for the Jets anymore when you're under contract?
Yeah. He did it with the Packers.
Exactly. So now my question to pose is, how more likely is retirement, or is it more likely this guy, knowing Aaron Rodgers, going to go take another deal and go play for another team?
So it's funny that he's saying now that he wants to stay with the Jets because earlier this week I heard the complete opposite. I heard that
exactly. Last week we talked about it.
Yeah, he wants to stay playing, but go to a different team.
Yep.
And we were fully expecting him to be benched for the next game of the Jets. And
they were
like
going to do
Denver
it
did with Russ.
Yeah, the exact same thing. They were going to keep him down with the injury clause. They didn't want to pay it. Yep. So I saw a ton. I think me and you talked about it, or one of you. I talked to you about it. They were going to bench him or cut him towards the end of the season to save themselves from any casualty with his contract. Mm-hmm. Now the whole narrative is flipped.
Yeah, now it's completely opposite.
What are the odds Aaron Rodgers delays you wanting JJ to start for the Vikings and follows Brett Favre's exact career?
Why would the Vikings do that?
I'm not saying they should.
They're bringing in the most toxic quarterback.
But would you be surprised? Especially Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Of all people, I think he'd be the one guy to replicate the quarterback ahead of him, their career.
Now, does Devontae Adams follow him there?
No. He's learned his lesson.
Yeah, I think he'll stay. Honestly, I don't know because how long is he got a contract for in that contract? Another 2-3 years? 2 years?
I think so.
So I think the Jets will ride him out because especially if you're going to draft a quarterback, I assume you start over from start, right?
Might as well.
Might as well. If Rodgers is gone, you don't sign a veteran. You just start fresh because you already wiped the whole staff. Yeah, you've wiped the whole staff, new GM, everything. So I think Devontae says that's the one asset you do keep. Because now you have two receivers, now you just got to get the quarterback right.
Yeah.
And hope that the new staff can maintain the defense's potential that they had. I mean, you got pieces to re-sign. Quincy Williams is going to be a free agent this year, I believe. So you got pieces you got to worry about.
How much longer do they have Sauce Gardner for?
3 years until he needs to talk about an extension, maybe 2. I think you start talking about it next season before his fourth year comes up, kind of like what the Broncos do with Patrick Surtain.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a huge worry yet. He might not be the biggest want to stay in New York, but I think New York knows we can't get rid of him. He's the one household name they have.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with the Giants and Barkley. They weren't successful. I hope they're successful in maintaining the one name they do have. Because now we're watching Barkley go off on a divisional rival, and that's not something you should let happen.
Yeah.
But that is all we had for news this week. So I figured, why don't we go into our top 10 power rankings for the NFL this season? We're getting closer to playoffs. We're getting closer to the end of the season. I think it's time we start narrowing down our list and seeing where we sit with our teams. So, Nick, I'm going to have you start us off. What is your top 10 power rankings going into Week 13?
Starting off at number 1, I have the Detroit Lions. Number 2, I have the Bills. Number 3 is the Chiefs. Some people are going to disagree. Some people are going to put the Chiefs ahead of the Bills.
Look, hate them or not, you got to put them there. You got to put them there.
You can't put the Chiefs ahead of the Bills. You can't put them any lower than 3.
No, I don't think you could definitely put them. No. You can't put them ahead of the Bills. Is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yep, I agree with you completely.
Exactly.
I thought you were saying you can't put the Bills ahead of the Chiefs. That's my bad.
After I put the Bills ahead of the Chiefs, you just can't do that. 4, I have the Eagles. They've been on a hot streak very quietly. They're 8-2 on a 6-game win streak now.
And Philly's never quiet. So if this is their way of winning football, keep it that way.
Yep. 5, I have the Ravens with MVP Lamar Jackson potentially.
I know Dom doesn't sit well with that, but
6, I have the Vikings. Even though I disagree, Sam Darnold is a good quarterback.
Yeah, but they're playing good football. They're getting
as
wins
team,
as needed. Yeah, exactly.
7, I have their division rival in the Packers, which makes the 3rd team in the NFC North in my top 10, which is kind of crazy.
I give it to them.
Number 8, I have Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That one stings.
Number 9, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. And number 10, I have the Denver Broncos, rounding out the 3rd team in the AFC West.
Boy,
does
it feel good to hear that for once.
Crazy. Never
8 or 9 long years, and it feels good to finally hear this team be talked about. Now, before I dwell on that, Dom, why don't you hit us with your top 10 power rankings?
So mine's similar, but it's got its differences. I'm going to start out with, instead of the Lions, I'm going to go the Bills. And here's why. The Bills, they beat the only undefeated at the time team, which was the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. After that, the Lions, and I think a Bills-Lions Super Bowl would feed families. I mean, tell me that wouldn't be the best game we've seen this year.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we have the Eagles, which is a team that came out of nowhere for me. I mean, the Eagles weren't really relevant.
At the beginning of the season, people were saying that their window was closed, everything's done with, and now here they are, 6-7 game win streak.
Ever since Nick Sirianni shaved his head.
Yeah, I saw that clip, or the post, yeah.
Yeah, and after the Eagles, I got the Vikings, which is another team that looked like they were falling off, and then picked it right back up.
I think you just have a little mid-season hiccups, I guess you could call it. Like I said, we talked about it a little bit They're on track. They're playing good football right now.
And then after that, I hate to say it, but I got to put the Ravens in at number 5 because, I mean, they're playing spectacular football.
Agreed.
I mean, we see that Lamar Jackson is now leading the passing yards of every single quarterback. Geno Smith close behind.
Oh, my gosh. He had to throw it in.
He had to bring up Geno.
Had to throw it in.
And I have the Chiefs at number 6, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So if you look at the Chiefs games this year, I mean, they just beat the Panthers by 3 points.
I was going to say, not just beat the Panthers. They got worked by the Panthers. They made them earn that win.
They snuck by the Broncos by 2 points in a game that they should not have won.
That was
if that
BS.
kicked that field goal.
That was complete BS.
They lost to the Bills, as I said earlier, and they beat the Bucks by 6 points.
A crippled Bucks.
8 of their games have been one-score games.
Yeah, and the Raiders by a touchdown. I mean, I don't think they're nearly as good as people say they are. I said this week after week.
So, look, unfortunately, I do have them relatively really high on my list. I feel like you have to simply because of the winning. That is all. If you get down to the nitty-gritty, yes. I completely get what you're saying, yeah.
I agree with that. That's why they're on my list to begin with. But
you just knocked them for the reasons of winning, yes. And I completely agree with that.
So, after that, I think we have another. So, I put the Chargers for number 7 right behind the Chiefs. This is another team that I feel wasn't even relevant until a couple weeks ago. I didn't hear anything
Jim Harbaugh, as much as I hate to say it, has taken that team, put his stamp of culture and identity on it, and they're winning football games. Granted, they lost last night.
But that was a great game.
That was a good game. And he's known for losing to his brother, and it was a game of competitiveness. And I don't think that it was Justin Herbert's fault for that. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you on that.
So after the Chargers, I have the Packers, which is yet again, I think, another team that's not talked about enough. Underrated.
I think it's because they've been through so many ups and downs and the Jordan Love injuries, and is he still there? There's just been a lot of talk around him and question and not more of positive talk.
And then after that, I got to give it to them. The Steelers, they pulled a win off against the Ravens. So I know they just lost a game that they really should not have lost. I mean, that game shouldn't even have been close, in my opinion. And we predicted this game last week, and I mean, we all had the Steelers.
I'm completely okay with the outcome of that game.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm mad that they lost, but
this one's crazy.
You know, I want to be honest with you. I just read. Did I read that out of order?
You did. Yeah, you swapped them.
100%
But I'm okay with you swapping it because if you're going to put them on the list, this justifies
I'll swap them.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And at number 10, I have the Seahawks. Now,
oh my God.
Listen.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
I have to add the same amount of bias as them. I mean, on the Fox list of top 10, the Seahawks are number 9.
But this is your.
Exactly. That's why they're at number 10.
I respect that you lowered them.
And I know I read that out of order, but I think now that I'm looking at it, the
say,
Steelers are definitely a better team.
When I saw your
than the
list
Seahawks.
on our notes, I didn't know if you swapped them just because internally you were like, okay, the Steelers are better than my team right now.
Yeah.
Which you could argue. But,
I honestly just read your list instead of mine, but I think it's very justifiable, but the Steelers are definitely better than the Seahawks.
You read my list? My list is completely different from yours, I feel like.
I don't even know what the hell I did.
No, you read your list. You just swapped 8 and 9, or 9 and 10. That's all you did.
Well, it was destiny then.
Yeah.
And I think it's accurate.
I don't think the Seahawks are 10. I think they're more 11 and 12, but I can see where you're going to justify. I mean, it's your favorite team. I expect you to do it. But,
so, I mean, I got to have some bias in there with that being my favorite team.
Course.
But, I mean, I think that the Seahawks are better than their record shows. Opposite of the Chiefs. Because we mentioned it in earlier episodes. If you go back and watch even the second or third episode, Gabe mentions growing pains a lot. And I think that's what's plagued with a new head coach.
I think we're past growing pains. We already know where I stand with that. I feel like the quarterback play is what's holding this roster back. We talked about it before we even went live on the podcast and started recording.
So I agree, but I disagree at the same time because I mentioned it earlier.
How about this? We'll pose the question for when we get to the Seahawks game because I do think it's worth noting and talking about.
Okay.
What we discussed before the pod.
In that case, that's my top 10 list, and I'll let Gabe take it away with it.
For sure. Okay, so for my top 10 power rankings heading into Week 13, I went with Lions number 1. I think it's a pretty consistent opinion that the Lions are owning the league right now. They're winning all over, and if I don't see them in the Super Bowl this year, I'm going to be devastated. I love my Broncos. I've kind of accepted that they're probably going to be first-round exits, so my pick this year for the Super Bowl has been the Lions straight through.
Yep.
Number 2, I got the Buffalo Bills simply because Josh Allen is having himself one hell of a season.
MVP?
Beat the Chiefs. So why would he not be ahead of the best, arguably one of the best teams? For those reasons that I said earlier, I have the Kansas City Chiefs sitting at number 3 simply because they're winning football games. You can't take it away from them. I can't take away their record. Do I like the way they're winning them? Do I feel comfortable with them going into playoffs and destroying teams? Absolutely not. But for the reasons that they're winning and their quarterback and their coach and everything else, I got to put them at 3. For number 4, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. At the beginning of the season, I said they're one of the scariest teams in the AFC. I think they've definitely fallen down a little bit.
Yep.
Not a ton, but we've seen that Lamar, when he's not playing and firing on all cylinders, that team cannot get going. That team thrives and breathes through Lamar Jackson. And he showed that last night. When he plays clean football, that team wins. Yeah, you can argue Derrick Henry.
I agree, but I disagree.
But I have the Ravens at 4. Number 5, as we've all said, very quiet. NFC, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that they're behind the lines in some sort. Yeah, the Vikings might have a better record. Actually, no, they might have the same record. But I think the Eagles are much better than the Vikings. And, no disrespect to the Vikings, because I have them right under 5 at 6. But I think the Eagles are a great team.
Wait, just let me interject for
go for it. Here. Go for it.
I think I can now make a case that maybe Saquon Barkley's up in the runnings for MVP.
I wanted to get to that. Barkley, we'll get to when we get to the Seahawks game the Eagles game, because Barkley
what a beast.
Single-handedly won them that football game.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 6, as I just said, we got the Minnesota Vikings, again, playing good football. Maybe Sam Darnold isn't what we thought he was at the beginning of the season, but as a team, they're playing great football and they're winning football games when they're all healthy. Number 7, Green Bay Packers just took down the 49ers. Have had a great couple of weeks of football. Pretty strong in the NFC. It's a very even bracket now, especially with the Seahawks winning their last 2 divisional games. Good for you guys. Number 8, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I don't want to put them on this list, but
you guys are haters.
It's not haters.
Yes,
it's just
I am a hater.
When I look at power rankings and everything, I don't like to talk about them in the sense of where we're at right now. I like to look at them in the grand scheme of where are they going to be when it comes time when football matters in February and January. I don't see the Steelers there.
I don't either.
But this is going into week 13.
That's certainly been the trend, though.
But this
year after year.
But this is our power rankings going into week 13. So for that, I will give them the respect, and I have them at 8 in my top 10. Number 9, I got the LA Chargers. Again, I don't like saying it. They're in my division. It's a division rival. But Jim Harbaugh has done a hell of a job with that team. And as much as I dislike Justin Herbert, I've never been a big fan of him. I've always been one of his biggest critics. He's playing damn good football. And I think it's easy to admit that he is being screwed over by this subpar roster. He really only has McConkey. And Quentin Johnson, I don't know what's going on.
We talked about that last week.
I don't know what's going on, dude.
He
The
didn't
drops
have a catch
just get worse.
yesterday, 2 days ago.
He had 5 targets, 3 drops.
Yeah.
Not one single catch.
Inexcusable.
And that's just not on Herbert. Number 10. I've been waiting the last 8 or 9 years to say this, and now I get to do it on a podcast. I cannot wait to say this. The Denver Broncos I have at number 10 in my power rankings going into week 13. Now, Dom, I don't know where you sit with this. I don't know how you feel. They're not on your top 10, so I don't know how much further down you have them. I'd like to know.
Probably 11 or 12.
Okay, so they're not far off.
No, they're up there.
Okay.
They're up there.
I love that this team's competing. I love that we can finally put them back in the conversation because historically this has been a successful team.
Very.
And it's about damn time we get to see that again. And for those reasons, that is my top 10.
Well, so if that field goal was made during the Chiefs game, where would you put the Broncos?
I'd have them at 8. Number one. I'd probably have them between the 8 range because I don't think that I think they're better than the Chargers.
Yeah. And,
yes, they lost to the Steelers, but that was in the beginning when we all thought Bo probably wasn't going to pan out right away this season. I'd have them getting ahead of the Steelers easily. So I'd have them in the 8 range.
The Steelers had a different quarterback.
Yeah, they had Justin Fields at the time. Yeah. Completely different identity.
Yep.
They ran the ball. They had Justin Fields run the ball himself, and then you had the defense. Now you've finally got a very balanced team, which you could say is why the Steelers are so successful now. So, now it goes without saying, I'm going to give them their credit.
Okay.
So here is the segment that I was ready to do. I hope this goes as planned. I don't know if you boys are ready.
It's a new one.
I hope your guys' brains are running. This is going to test your trivia. So we got NFL trivia. Guess the play.
I got the practice one right before
you did get the practice one right. So I'm going to give you guys the game. I'm going to give you guys the game, the year, and you tell me the play.
So are you asking direct questions to one at a time or anybody
I'm going to read you a sentence, basically.
Whoever answers first?
Based on that sentence. Yeah, we'll see who gets it first.
Okay. Right.
We're not going to do a point system. There's nothing to win now, but maybe in the future we can.
Bet.
But I just want to see where our brains are at. So I picked a couple of plays that stand out to me over history. Some are modern or recent. Some are 10, 12 years down the road. The practice one was Brandon Stokely. I didn't know if Dom was going to get it, so I wiped it, but he did know the play, and Nick knew it within seconds, so I kind of wish I did get to show it so he could prove his Broncos knowledge, but, it wasn't fair to Dom.
These better not all be Bronco plays. That's right.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not.
It's like
and Dom, don't worry. I got you, bro. One of them's for you. So game 1. Let me paint the picture for you. It's 2018 NFC Divisional Round. The Vikings are playing the Saints and are down by 1 with 10 seconds to go. Any kind of score to win the game. What's the play that takes place and who does it?
I feel like there's only one option here.
Who are the teams again?
Minneapolis Miracle?
Yep, you got it. All right.
That's familiar. Yep.
Do you know I want you to tell me the play.
Stephon Diggs jumped over Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep,
Catch
two-man
from
coverage.
Case Keenum.
Yep.
Touchdown.
Oh, you're jogging my
seconds.
memory now.
Took his helmet off. Got a penalty.
One of the best calls. I think it was Joe Buck. One of the best calls, dude. Just tons of energy. Dom, unfortunately, you didn't get it. But you don't play. He's talking.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it now. That's when we went right up the sideline, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I remember it.
I'm gonna say there's no way you don't know it. If I showed you the clip right now, you would know it. You've seen it.
Yeah.
All right. Game 2. So now you're ready. Now you know what to expect. Okay. All right. Both of you should be ready now. Game 2. It's week 10 of the NFL season. It is 2020. The Cardinals are facing the Bills at home, down by 4 with 11 seconds to go. Who makes the play and how?
Oh, do I know his name? No, but I remember it was Kyler Murray rolling out to the left, and he chucked it up by the right by his sideline. I know it's one of them. It was a Hail Mary.
One-handed catch.
I'm going to give it to Dom because he got majority of it. Yes. It's Kyler Murray rolling out to his left, chucking it up
and I remember
to D-Hop in three-man coverage for a Hail Mary to win the game.
Yep.
That was when the Cardinals went on that insane run. Unfortunately, they lost in the first round.
It makes sense. It was DeAndre Hopkins. So that
Yeah.
I saw a statistic on DeAndre Hopkins is that he has more tackles in his career than drops.
That's
really?
crazy. Yeah,
That's
I think
crazy.
I remember seeing that. That is true.
He has more tackles. in his
So
career
that
than
means
drops.
he's historically played with terrible quarterbacks because that means there's
Yes.
been picks thrown. That's
Well, his best
wild.
quarterback was Deshaun Watson.
So you just taught me something in a game that I'm hosting. So thank you for that.
There we go.
All right. So 1-1. We're tied right now. Game 3. In 2022, we had the 7-1 Vikings playing the 6-2 Bengals. 2 minutes to go. It's 4th and 18. Who makes the play?
What year is this? What year is-
Jefferson.
This is 2022.
Jefferson one-handed catch.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. There
That's
we
the
go.
one where he reaches up and then he falls
dude,
down. Yeah.
literally just fingertips up,
Yeah.
brings the ball down to the side, and somehow the ball never moves and never touches the ground.
Yep.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, the Vikings went on in overtime to win that game, which was insane. That
think
was
so.
an
They did.
insane
Yep.
game. Yeah. Yep.
I do remember that.
So now it's 2-1. Dom, you got to tie it up. This one's for you. You better get this. And if you don't, I'm going to be pissed. It is NFC wildcard game 2011. The Seahawks are playing the New Orleans Saints, and the Seahawks are up by
Beastquake.
4.
Beastquake. I said it first.
Let's leave this one up to the fans. We'll let them decide. We'll put a poll on the Spotify and the Instagram.
He may have beat me by
see.
a millisecond.
Yes,
Dom,
sir.
honest integrity, did you get that first? Because I honestly don't know. I heard both of you in my headset.
I want to say that Nick started saying it, and when he was in the middle of saying it, I
Yeah.
started saying it because I wanted to wait for you to finish. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I was gonna
be.
interrupt.
I was
I
gonna
wanna-
be
I want it
simple.
first.
I knew the play. That's Beastquake 1.0. That's not 2.0. That's 1.0.
Dom, you're not fired up enough. He got it first, then I guess, huh?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
3-1,
But
baby.
the reason is because I was gonna wait for you to finish.
Look, this is the first of many trivia
We'll
segments.
slow
We
it
can
down.
do a bunch more. Actually, how about this? We're gonna drop a poll on the episode. Do you guys list the kind of trivia we want to do, and we can keep testing
us
your
some
boys'
questions.
knowledge?
Yeah.
You guys drop questions below.
We won't
And-
research them.
We'll put them all on the socials. I'll put a poll on the Spotify, put a poll on the Instagram. Everybody drop your questions. We can put it on the TikTok, see what we get. And in the next episode, we'll do a quick trivia and see where our boys' brains are at. All right?
Yep.
Because we'll say we tied. We'll say we tied it. All right? How about that? Fair tie, or do you want to give them the dub?
I gotta be
Give it to
fair.
me.
I
Give it
gotta
to me.
give him the dub.
All right.
I gotta be
That
fair.
dub.
So just like the Broncos,
Jameis
Nick is up.
eating that dub, bro.
There we go. Speaking, let's
Order
get
it off
to
Amazon.
Thursday Night Football, where Jameis Winston did order the dub on Amazon Prime.
In a snow game.
In a Snow Bowl for one hell of a Thursday Night Football matchup. Dom, I know this one rings your bell a little bit, but I loved it. I loved coming home from work in the second half and seeing a white football field and seeing Jameis Winston
So I
play
wasn't
some
even
damn good
watching
ball.
this game until I had one of my buddies. It wasn't either you two, but I had one of my buddies text me and he goes, "Yo, it's snowing in the football game on right now," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Dropped what I was doing immediately, turned on that TV and watched the rest of that game.
It was a damn good football
Not
game.
only did it turn out to be an amazing fucking football
yeah.
game, but holy shit, I love Blizzard games. This reminded me of like a Bills stadium.
I
game.
cannot wait. I was just going to say, I cannot wait for a good Bills, and I'm praying the Broncos get one snow game in there at some point.
Did you see the Bills 49ers
Dude,
game
yeah.
supposed to have snow?
The Bills play the 49ers this week. We'll get to our picks at the end of the
Oh.
episode, but they're playing. Tons of snow have already fallen. I cannot wait.
nice.
I hope that the field is not able to be cleared. I want it to be a white field. I want to see Josh Allen cook on the Niners
Remember they had
defense
the
in
fans
snow.
out there cleaning it last
Dude,
year?
they were paying them
building
last year.
snowmans and
yeah,
shit.
and they were
Yeah.
paying them last year to shovel.
Yeah.
And they gave them like free meals and shit
Dude,
before
that's
the game.
sick.
I'd do it.
Get
That's
me out
sick.
there. I'll
I'd do it.
drive.
Yeah.
I'll drive up there.
Dude, I
How
want to
many-
be on the field.
How many hours is the Bills from us? 3, 4? If that?
They're not terribly
Western New York can't be that far from
Yeah.
us. No. That's not Western. Is it Western?
What's their stadium called?
Highmark, I think. Highmark Stadium. It's one of the older stadiums. Either way, they were paying fans to go shovel last year.
So,
and I'm hoping we get some snow this year for that game.
So I know you guys have definitely watched highlights on that one channel. What's it called? They have that like sick intro. It's iconic.
Oh, Ding Prod Productions or whatever. And it has LaShawn McCoy with the snow in his face. Yes,
and Calvin Johnson like whole helmet.
7.5 hours. Let's go.
7. Oh my God, I said 4. 7 hours. I'll drive to go watch a Bills game and get paid to shovel up the stadium.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's fun.
Bro.
But let's get back to the snow game that we had this week, guys. I know that Jameis Winston is not the answer. I know he's not the future.
But God, is he fun to watch.
Not only is he fun to watch, I think that he is what the Browns need at this specific point in time. From moral energy to just Jameis is football. I don't know how else to put it.
It's like a total
I cannot
180
wait
from Deshaun
for when his
Watson.
football career is over because I pray and I hope and I speculate that he will become a football coach. That is his career, bro. I'm telling you, that's his career. It's got to be.
That'll be something.
He gets men so fired up. Even if he's just an offensive assistant or a quarterback coach like Davis Webb.
Right.
Perfect spot.
Yeah.
Perfect spot. Now let's get to the Steelers side of the ball. They didn't get a lot going on the run side of the game. I think Najee and Jalen Warren had good runs. I just don't think they capitalized like they usually do, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it was just a down day for them or what it was.
I think it was partially the weather, something that they're not.
Yeah,
they
just can't get the footing.
They didn't get the points on the board until the end of the game, and then by that point, the Browns had so much momentum that they went right back down the field and scored.
Yep.
And as much as me and Nick don't want to admit this, Jerry Jeudy the last couple weeks is stepping up and making plays,
especially on third
down. And
down.
again, another guy. As much as I hate on the shit that went down in Denver, I hope he succeeds because of the accolades he had in college. But he should have did it in the orange and blue. That's where I'm sitting with that one. But I don't know where you guys feel about Nick Chubb being back. We finally got to see him perform.
He didn't do bad. He did
he had
goddamn
what, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah,
2 touchdowns.
59
you
yards.
had him on your bench?
I had him starting.
I started Austin Eckler and I started Jonathan Taylor.
I don't blame you because you don't know what you're getting with Nick Chubb right now.
Exactly.
But I'm happy to see him. Yeah, he didn't have a lot of rushing yards, but he got 20 carries. He got involved and he got 2 touchdowns.
So I know you guys don't like Russell Wilson, especially you, Nick. But we have to give it to him. He didn't play that bad this game. I know was it a lost fumble?
I don't know. I think he looked lost at times.
But he went 21 for 28, 270 yards and a touchdown. I mean,
his stat line, and I think I wrote it down in my notes. You know,
stat pattern.
His box score, it paints a picture for a decent game. And we've talked about this. Don't look at the numbers in football.
All last year with the Broncos, his stats looked great, but
because the first thing I noticed when rewatching the highlight of the game, the condensed version, was I saw a lot of Broncos Russ. You know, he didn't look comfortable in the pocket. He looked like he couldn't evade sacks.
He doesn't throw to the middle of the field.
He rolled out, and you saw that one clip I showed you where I hysterically laughed my ass over the ball just flies out of his hand. He's like, whoa, where'd the ball go?
Yeah.
And then, like Nick just said, it looked like he couldn't read the defense. He couldn't get the ball where it usually has been the last few weeks. And he did his typical rollout and hope for the best, and it didn't happen.
He's taking stupid sacks and now, he doesn't need to.
Exactly, and you can argue that's why they lost the game. But that also goes hand in hand with saying that when Russ is on, he is shades of old Russ, which is what you've been saying all season. And that's why I'm saying I'm not turned off to the fact to respect him and give him his flowers when he does play good. Because the Steelers are not a bad team. And when Russ is on, it just okay Russ. That team can compete. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be in the conversation anymore where I'm a Russ hater. Because I've gotten to the point now where it's like, and maybe it's because I have Bo Nix, but I've gotten to the point now where it's like I don't want to see the guy's Hall of Fame career go to shit because of what happened over the course of 2 seasons.
I'm going to be completely honest. I wish he stayed in Seattle.
I do too. I genuinely wish he never.
Well,
came
I'm
to this
happy
team.
For the sake of go. Yeah, I'll let you go.
I'm happy that I got all the stuff from Denver that they gave me: Drew Lock, Noah Fant, all those
3 first-round picks, a couple of seconds.
But honestly,
Shelby Harris.
Other than like Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen, all the other assets you gained from Denver have been nothing, really.
You can't say Tariq Woolen and Witherspoon weren't huge assets.
No. I just said other than them.
That paid the deal itself.
No, I said other than them.
Noah Fant's been pretty good.
They don't use him. He's just a blocking tight end now, which he wasn't great at in Denver. But what I'm saying is, do you think that maybe you could have kept him and traded a guy like Bobby when he was still Bobby Wagner? I'm saying when he still had what's the word? An attraction from other teams, whereas now you could get him for a 6 or 7.
See, I'm the type of person that when I see a player on a team for most of their career, I want them to stay and retire with.
Well, I think that's most people. I think that's most people in any fan base.
I would have loved Tom Brady to stay with the Patriots. I'm so happy for Tom Brady that he went.
I love the way it went.
Yeah,
I think it went perfectly. Yep. He left. He proved his point. He gave us an exciting season, an exciting Super Bowl run.
Won a Super Bowl.
Went back, fixed things, and retired a Patriot. was beautiful.
Yep.
I'm glad that went the way it went. Similar to Peyton Manning. I love the way it went for him, and not just because I'm a Denver fan. It's amazing to see a player prove a point and go carry success after a gruesome neck injury like he had.
Yeah.
Everyone wrote him off. Everyone thought no one needed him anymore. But then when it came time to the Peyton Manning sweepstakes, it was the Titans, the Dolphins, and the Broncos, and we got him. And what did we do? We went to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. Maybe the Cardinals. I'm not sure. But I know the Dolphins and Titans were 2 big ones. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is interesting about what you just said. We were talking about this. Geno is arguably the reason the Seahawks have been held back. Do you think Russell, with this roster and coaching staff, are more of a threat than the Seahawks are right now? Put Russ in Geno's spot right now.
It's so hard to say because I'm going to say no. I think Geno Smith would do better than Russell Wilson. Here's why.
I'm glad you stick to a consistent narrative, but I don't agree with it totally.
I think if Pete Carroll was still there, Russell Wilson, I'd pick Russell Wilson or Geno Smith. But because we have a new...
But it almost feels the same. Mike McDonald is also a defensive coach just like Pete Carroll.
But it's a whole new playbook we're playing under now. This is something that
not offensively. Offensively it did change, but not... he didn't have too much of a
I'm
impact.
so conflicted because now I can just imagine the moon balls we'd be seeing from him to like JSN and DK Metcalf and stuff. It's impossible to say for me. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I can't.
Well, to finish up this game, hopefully the Steelers can get back on track, and if they don't, I'm not sad either. But it was a fun game nonetheless.
Watching Jameis Winston's headset.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better correct what you just said. Jamison Winston. That shit was terrible.
I sound like you trying to pronounce words.
All right, Nick, why don't you get us to the next game? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Have you heard yourself do intros?
The intros, guys, intros are hard. This whole podcast shit is easy. I shouldn't say easy. It's
easy. Once we get into the flow.
Once we get going, this is easy. This is my life. This is what I want to do. It's what I'm going to school for. But the intro is the most intimidating part. I'm talking to people to get them in here, and then I got to hope that they stay. Like, it ain't easy. It ain't easy being cheesy, Dom. All right?
Oh, you're very cheesy.
All right. Let's let Nick get to the next game.
So this next game, we had a bit of an upset in an AFC South battle. Titans versus Texans.
A bit of an upset? That shit was crazy.
Titans come out with the victory 32-27. Will Levis, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick on 18 for 24 passing.
By no means a beautiful game, but as a team, they got it done.
Tony Pollard, 119 yards, a touchdown on 24 carries.
He's responsible for a lot of that momentum.
Calvin Ridley added 93 yards of his own on just 5 catches. That's pretty impressive.
He had himself a good game, considering he's been quiet for most of the season.
And
what you laughing at over there?
Yeah, this guy's name, I'm so... if this guy's listening...
Oh, you don't even want to try and say it? I believe it's...
Chigoziem.
No, wait, I'll try it. It's like Chigoziem Okonkwo. Whatever. Fuck it.
1 catch, 70 yards and a touchdown.
Receiver had himself a beautiful catch.
He's a tight end, I think, isn't he?
No, I think he's like a slot receiver. He might be a tight end. I could be fucking wrong. But his last name's Okonkwo. We'll go with that.
He came out of nowhere. Let's say that.
C.O.
C.O. Yeah, we'll go with C.O. He had 1 catch, 70 yards, and went for a tutty. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw, but on that play, he broke like 4 tackles and just fucking took it to the house. But,
I think in this game, the Texans dug themselves in a hole too deep.
I was going to say, I think we need to get more to the Texans than the side of the Titans getting one because their season's already over.
I mean, what happened to Joe Mixon in this game? They just shut him out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We
saw huge games from him earlier in
the last 5 weeks. Yeah. He's been putting it up.
Almost like
numbers.
Almost close to Saquon Barkley's levels. And then this game, he's not even on the stat list.
How about C.J. Stroud?
It was like 40-something yards.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's not there because he didn't do anything.
C.J. Stroud is another week. Another week. You said you can't just say don't do the turnovers, but it's like, at what point do we stress to him, you got to play clean football if we're going to win fucking football games? Mm-hmm. Last year, we didn't see him. I don't know if it's an issue with being aggressive. Do you think maybe that is? We didn't see turnovers much last year. And I don't know, but he also threw a lot of home run balls. So I don't know. Because 2 interceptions now, and a few weeks ago you had the one, and a week before that you had another one. It's just, we've now seen...
He's throwing like at least 1 a week.
Yeah.
That's not a good pace.
And they're putting up points, but you're not going to be able to sustain and win football games when your defense also is allowing the opposing team to put up just as much points.
I mean, they're 7-5. People expect them to be a lot better.
And granted, I know you're at the your own 2-yard line on the final drive of the game. You can't take a safety there. Why would you step back? I don't care what the play is. You got to have some awareness. Okay, I can't take my full 5-step drop back here. We're in the end zone. I'm in my own end zone. And if there's pressure, throw the ball away, do something, figure it out. You cannot take a safety there if you want to see them to live to see the next play.
We're almost like seeing rookie mistakes in his second year.
And it's everywhere. It's a sophomore slump. It's like how do you go from
2 years are reversed?
Yeah, how do you go from offensive rookie of the year to now a sophomore slump? And yes, it's a notorious saying
With a better
for
team.
quarterbacks. Exactly, but it's a roster that you could say should be better. They're now all
They
a
go
year
out and get
in
Stephon
development.
Diggs,
Just got
Joe Mixon. I guess Diggs is out, but
You still have
they
Diggs.
still have Joe Mixon.
You still have all your rookies who are now
Nico
seconds
Collins is
here who
back.
should be developed. You have Nico Collins back. Tank Dell's no longer alone. I mean, who's their tight end? Isn't it Dalton Schultz? You have all the pieces. And your
they
defense
still
has
have
been
Dameon
good.
Pierce too.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got outplayed by Will Levis, so.
You know what the sad part is they let Will Levis make his usual mistakes and make them not have a massive they didn't make him pay for his mistakes. There were a couple plays where Brian Callahan every week looks pissed off when Will Levis makes some stupid ass decision on the field, and rightfully so.
He's
as
the
a
new
rookie head
Jameis
coach,
Winston.
you don't want to be seeing your quarterback making mistakes that he should have made last year. But he made all those mistakes and none of them affected the game. They still walk away with a dub.
Yeah, which is crazy because if you're a Texans team as good as you guys are supposed to be, can't let that.
So I don't
slide.
want to be cocky or anything, but if we do end up seeing them in the playoffs, I don't think we will, just because they're probably going to be in the lower seeding like us. We're probably going to play the 2 seed for the 7.
Well,
But if we somehow can play them, that's another team in the playoffs that I'm not too worried about anymore. You're seeing too many slip-ups and absolutely not for the playoffs to happen with them.
I agree.
So I don't know where I stand with the Texans right now.
they're probably going to be the 4 seed because they're probably going to win their.
They're probably going to win their division.
Colts, Jaguars, Titans are not going to get it done.
Yeah.
And unless we get up on the Chargers, we're probably staying at 7. So
Yeah, the seeding we're at right now for the AFC might be where we are.
it's pretty set in stone already. And I don't mind playing the Bills. I just know playing the Bills right away likely means you're
Not
a first
just playing
round
the Bills,
exit.
playing the Bills in Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Yeah.
Remember what happened to the Patriots a few years ago?
Well, that was Mac Jones' rookie year.
That's probably going to be similar. To
I
what
pray.
We're gonna
Wasn't
see.
that the game where it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds and there was like one
Dude,
pass
they were
the whole
throwing
game?
snowballs at players on the field. And shit. There's also another questionable object that was thrown during a touchdown. I don't know if I should say it or not, but you can use your own imagination if you watch the game. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wait, say that again?
They were throwing more than just snowballs at players when they scored touchdowns.
Was it beer cans?
No, it was a sex toy.
Dildos?
They were throwing
Oh,
dildos
yeah.
at the players. Dude, the fucking camera guy showed it and he immediately touched it. You saw it bounce in the end zone.
I don't remember that. I never heard that.
You
I'm
never-
about to
you
show you the
don't
clip
remember
after the pod.
That, you
Shit,
gotta
hope
put it
you know,
on the story,
fuck it,
bro.
Denver. Let's play Bills round 1 of the playoffs so we can see what we get thrown at this year. But nah, imagine getting a dick thrown at you when you score a touchdown. That's a way to. That's a one
As
way
a
to
player,
leave.
I think I
Welcome
just
to
fucking
Buffalo.
look at it and laugh.
That's one way to be a first round exit. I'd be fucking embarrassed, but honestly, making the playoffs in itself at the point we've been for the last 8 years is an accomplishment in itself. So I'll just sit back and wait and see who we play. Next game we got was supposed to be. Well, I mean, it was. It lived up to be the hype of the NFC showdown division matchup. But holy shit, Caleb Williams, are you selling like a motherfucker, dude? I wanted you to win this game so badly, and I don't know why, because I never root for you. I wanted the Bears to win this because they clawed their entire way back. You saw Caleb played his ass off and looked gassed after every drive because he had to run and evade every single
He
pocket.
led the NFL in passing yards this week.
Well, he had to, dude. He was fucking
340.
running for his life and chucking balls downfield.
Yeah.
But it's like you get yourself to get in overtime, and then they win the coin toss to get the ball, and then you play sloppy and conservative football. You've already made it this far. Win or lose, I mean, if you lose, you got nothing to lose. You already did. You're already taking L's every week. So play aggressive.
You're left with
Right.
no regrets. if you
Nick
play
was the
aggressive.
first one to say this. There are certain teams where it's like you're already on the gas pedal. Why are you letting up? Why are we running the ball now all of a sudden with DeAndre Swift when prior you only had him run 14 times in the entire game?
Yeah.
And he's got under 50. Is it under 50? I didn't list it. Under like 50 rushing yards. So why now all of a sudden are we going to do that? Go back to that stupid whip screen route you kept running over and over that got you 2 touchdowns. Throw the ball downfield to Keenan Allen, who was on fire, and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
So now this leads me to my next point. You already fired your offensive staff. So you're already going to learn a new playbook next year because I'm assuming Eberflus is going to hire a new offensive staff. But now here's my next question. Do we even keep Matt Eberflus? Or do we just fire the whole staff and start new with Caleb in this roster?
Start new.
I think you get him a new offensive-minded coach.
I mean, after seeing what happened today, start over.
That's what I'm saying.
Pull a giant.
Not start over, but start over the staff.
Yeah.
You've got the pieces. You've arguably got the quarterback of the future.
Be like the Giants.
Go get a coach who aligns with Caleb's arsenal of traits. Go get a coach who has a vision for this offense and a coach that wants to have this piece. I mean, everyone says he's Patrick Mahomes. Clearly, he's not. He's not winning football games. But a name that I'd like to keep out there if this happens, do you think Cliff Kingsbury is a consideration as he was his coach in college? His offensive coordinator, I should say.
I like
that. Would be interesting.
I like
leaving
that,
the Commanders. Yes, you have Jane Daniels, but another head coaching job is huge. He had Kyler at one point, and he was successful for 2 of those 4 seasons he was with them. So is Cliff Kingsbury an interesting name to throw out there to come to Chicago and have Caleb again? He had him in college. They know each other. They know the system. Something to think about. And if it happens, you heard it first here on the Turf Talk podcast.
I want that to happen now.
Look, the seasons, we still got a lot of football left, but I don't think that it's too far away to start thinking about these things.
Yeah, it's never.
Because I don't think Eberflus has made a case to remain the head coach. I mean, he's not doing it on the defensive side of the ball either, so what the fuck's the point of having him?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's where I'm at if you guys have any more points on that game. You guys all set?
I'm good.
All right, why don't you bring us to the next one, Dom? Come on, I know you love this team.
Cowboys versus the Commanders. I gotta whisper that just to keep my temper
This game
down.
went the opposite of what we thought it was going to go.
Because, holy shit, if I'm the Commanders right now, you guys fucking suck. How do you let the goddamn Cowboys fucking do any of this to you? I mean, I get it. Micah
2
Parsons
kickoff
is getting
return
back
for
into
touchdowns,
it.
bro?
Like how? Like special teams, get your head out of your ass. Not just that, but you lost this game because of a missed goddamn field goal. What the hell
No,
are you,
PAT,
the fucking
PAT.
Broncos?
PAT.
I know, PAT.
Yeah.
Still
The
okay.
saddest part is how do you miss the PAT and then consecutively right after that allow your special teams to let up an onside kick return for a fucking touchdown?
Yep.
If you're going to lose this game, can we lose it by 1 point and not, what is
Yeah.
it, 9? No, 8?
Yeah.
8? Whatever the case.
Yeah, it not even that it really makes much of a difference at that point, but like it's just embarrassing. Like
It just looks like you gave
embarrassing
up.
yourself. Yeah, like, but how in that crucial of a time can you miss a field goal like that? I mean,
Why?
this is the
let me ask
Commanders.
this.
This was completely opposite of the Denver game, though, because our fucking team just got mollywopped by the Chiefs' offensive line or defensive line. They just fucking whipped on
Muffed
the kick.
it, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was a low snap for one, and then you kick it wide left. Like, I don't know.
If you're the Commanders, why are you letting it come down to that in the first place?
That's
This
true.
Cowboys team
That's
is
true.
awful.
Exactly,
Dude, they didn't put point up until the second half or midway through the third quarter. It was like 10 to fucking 9.
I'm sorry, you have Cooper Rush playing as your quarterback, and you're gonna allow Cooper Rush to carve you up?
What do you
Bingo.
get? He had fucking 247 passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Like,
when a week
Cooper
ago,
Rush had as many touchdowns as Jaden Daniels
2
had
weeks ago, didn't he have
interceptions.
like fucking 60 passing yards? Now this week he gets almost up to 300.
Yeah, like
If you're Dan Quinn, you have to be mortified.
He looked pissed.
Your former team just came
Well,
in and beat
actually,
you.
they showed the camera to him when they missed the PAT, and it looked like he said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I don't blame
And
him.
I don't blame him either. But at the same time,
They just
how do you not put points on the board on this team up until the third or fourth quarter?
They put Austin Seibert on injured reserve today.
Really?
I had to drop him in fantasy. He was my kicker.
I dropped him last week before this. Thankfully, I dropped
He
him.
still had
last
8
week.
points. He
Yeah,
still had
he
8
did.
points.
Evan McPherson's usually my starting kicker, so I'll have him back next week. But but no, I just don't understand how you wait till the end of the game.
You're letting Luke Schoonmaker.
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 It's their tight end.
Luke.
Allow a touchdown and 55 yards on you on 3 catches. Like, I mean,
That is crazy.
The game was hard to watch. Every time Red Zone switched to it, I was like, dude, why are the Cowboys up? Why is it taking so long for the Commanders to get going?
like,
Where was Brian Robinson at?
So
Where was Austin Eckler at?
Who commentated this game?
I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't watch it.
One of them.
Red Zone, I'm listening to Scott Hansen, whatever his name is, calling it. So
Yeah. Well, when I was watching this game, the commentators were pointing out how that we almost saw like the old Cowboys defense, like they were rushing 6 at a time because like
I'd blitz 2 at this point. The game's going slow. You have control, and Jaden Daniels looks flustered.
yeah.
Now, granted, going into this game, am I sad if they lose? No, because it solidifies both
Yeah,
for
like,
Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah.
And it fucking happened.
At the end of the day, I could care less who wins this game. But
Same.
as the Commanders in such a pivotal point in your season, if you're allowing this loss to happen, what does this say about your team?
Yeah, because now you're at a point where you need these wins.
Now your
to solidify
questions
your
are
seeding in
popping
the
up, and
NFC.
not just that, but now your quarterback pretty much is out of the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think this further solidifies Bo Nix as getting this award. And I mean, yeah, he's
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yes, sir.
for the listeners out there, he's holding up a Bo Nix.
Oh yeah,
rookie
guys, I'm
card.
sorry, I forgot. We got people who only listen on Spotify or audio only. I got a Bo Nix rookie card here thanks to Nick.
boy.
He bought himself a couple packs and scored himself a couple Bo Nix rookie cards. So we got myself one, and that's the Offensive Rookie of the Year right there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I
didn't mean to
said
interrupt.
it. I did say it, but
Well, while we're on the topic, Nick, How about you get us started with it? I mean, we're already there. We might as well just do it.
So this Sunday, the Broncos went into Las Vegas and got their first ever win in Las Vegas, winning
It's so weird to
29-19.
That's the first time you guys won in Las Vegas?
The last time we beat them, we were in 5th grade, Gabe and I.
Jeez.
We don't beat them in
Not the last time we beat them. The last time we beat them in a home game.
in their home game.
So not the first time ever?
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, the first time in Las Vegas because they were in Oakland.
Yeah, they were in Oakland previous.
Yep.
They've only been in Vegas for what? 4
I
years?
forgot.
5
The
years.
Oakland Raiders, that used to be a thing.
How do you? I still
St.
sometimes call
Louis
them the
Rams.
Oakland Raiders. I don't.
forgot
San Diego
about-
I don't always
Chargers,
call them the Las Vegas Raiders. I sometimes accidentally call them Oakland Raiders still.
because that's just what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are to me.
Yeah.
I mean, most Raider fans are assholes, and I associate that with Oakland. So,
Yeah.
but no, this is the first time we've beat them in Vegas in the new stadium. So it was definitely a big achievement, morale.
It was
for
an
that team.
ugly win for sure.
Well, I wouldn't call it ugly. I just wish the score was a little bit different. Nick, you're a little negative with this team. You're hard on the Broncos, even on good days.
The Raiders gave up.
They didn't give up. We fucking took out Gardner Minshew. We broke his rib or collarbone. Yeah,
Collarbone, right?
dude. Jonathan Cooper and someone else just sandwiched
You know
him.
what's so funny? Early, like I think our very first episode, we were talking about why the collarbone injury wasn't more common. Now here we go. We got
Yeah,
Gardner
here we are.
Minshew. Yeah,
It's because
now
Denver
we're-
did it.
Oh,
Denver's
Let's ride.
Well, I'm so happy that I was able to pick up Cortland Sutton for my fantasy team
This
because
is the
29
third week in a
balls.
row.
my
This is the
God.
third week in a row where he's had over 70
Just-
yards and a
bro.
touchdown.
Ever
True
since the
touchdowns this
Saints
game.
game, I think he's had
Yeah, ever since he had
70
zero
yards
targets.
every single
Yes.
game.
he had one game where he didn't even get a target.
I don't know if it's Bo or I don't know if it's Court or if they both know. He is on pace and on the race to 1,000 receiving yards, which I don't think he's done since his second year in the league or first year in the league.
2019,
2019, yeah, so second year.
he made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. He better fucking be
That was so
consideration
long
for the
ago.
Pro Bowl.
Joe Flacco, Brandon Allen, who started for the 49ers.
Wow.
And Drew Lock were our
Yeah, that was it. We had
quarterbacks
3
that year.
quarterbacks that year. Yeah, that was when Drew Lock went on that insane 4-1. Yeah,
The only loss was to the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
in the snow, and we beat the Texans that year when Deshaun Watson was arguably
Not just
one
beat
of the
them, we
best.
blew them out.
Blew them out. Yeah. Yep. So I mean, I'm not gonna go too much on the Denver Broncos. I got a few more things to say. Devon Bailey looks amazing. Troy Franklin's
7th
getting
round
involved. Dude, both of them look like they could be legit receivers next year for us. I still want to add a pass catcher. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
100%.
But they're gonna be great 2s and 3s for us in the future.
I mean, the Broncos at this point are just further solidifying their
Dude, we're a few
explosiveness of
pieces
their
away
offense,
for next year being legit contenders.
Absolutely.
which is scary for me considering we got $100 bet on the line.
I can't wait to see where that goes because this bet's been on the line since
What's
what,
your
3 years
bet?
ago.
What's your
Yeah.
bet?
First team to make it to the Super Bowl
Win.
wins $100
Between your teams?
And this happened
Yep.
since
Seahawks or Broncos
This happened the
since-
day after the Rush trade. Because he
Yep.
said it wasn't
Wow.
gonna. He was right. He did say that the Rush trade was gonna go nowhere, and fucking were you right? It didn't go anywhere. But your conditions on the deal were whoever wins the Super Bowl first. You didn't say it had to be the Russ.
It was originally a $50 bet, but now that we
We
have
upped
money,
the ante
yeah.
now. That we have But back to the Broncos. Who else? Marvin Mims. Finally using him in a different way than we normally have. He's in the backfield now. He's in tons of motion, and it's working.
Just give him the ball. Let him.
Excuse me.
Similar role to Jaleel.
Yeah.
They're very similar players.
We didn't even. That's my one gripe with this game. And maybe this is where you're right with it being sloppy. Where was the run involvement? Granted, we know our backfield is terrible.
Javante looked awful. Not gonna lie.
I'm sorry. I've been out on Javante since even the Saints game. I wasn't like I didn't think that was the
88
answer.
yards and 2 tutties, bro.
Like I knew that game was because the defense he played was terrible, and that's
So-
why I say that late in the draft this year, if Genty's there, take him.
late in the first round, that is.
Well,
Not late in the draft.
so-
Obviously, late in the draft, take him if he just
Late- I
happens
mean
to
late
be
in the
there in the
first, yeah.
6th round. But
So I know late, your backfield may be awful, but like your guys' O-line, I think Bo Nix is one of the least pressured quarterbacks in the league.
the Broncos' offensive line is ranked number 1
yeah,
in
yeah.
pass protection in the
Bo
NFL.
Nix is.
It also helps that even when there is pressure, Bo is like. I don't think I
He's a
realized it.
magician.
I probably watched more film on Bo last year than actual analysts did. All of Christmas break last year during my in college we get like 5 or 6 weeks, and I literally spent every day texting this kid new clips because he doesn't watch film on any prospects.
I watch who.
So
he
I would
sends
make
me.
my own cut ups and send them to Nick. I probably watched more film on Bo than anyone, and I didn't even realize how athletic he was until now in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bo
even when
was
there is
one of
pressure,
like 3 or 4 college football players I knew.
and now when he even has pressure, he's just really good at evading. I mean, we have that one rush against the Bucks where he broke out of that, and then again against the Raiders at home. No,
He's almost
no.
slippery.
No,
Yeah,
it was,
Even for
they-
his size.
Yeah, and he's a big guy. I didn't think he was that big. Apparently, he's huge in person. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is short by any means, but apparently when they scouted him out, he was beefier in person.
Chargers.
Was a lot taller. It was Chargers. Yeah. Not Raiders, Chargers. They just can't bring him down to the ground. And don't get me wrong, they have, but they can't. And then like this week, he broke Max Crosby's ankles. Granted, it was an incompleted pass, but yeah.
I don't care.
But off the Broncos, I want to get to the Raiders. I'm assuming you have to draft a quarterback this year. You're going to be in the top 3 picks. Now. So it's going to come down to Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. I mean, those are really your 2 picks at the top of the draft right there. My question, though, is does Antonio Pierce remain head coach? I understand he's beloved by everyone there.
I don't think he will.
But do you think after this season, it's like, okay, we try to give you a chance now, it's fucking on to the next?
Because his whole thing is he's going to get these guys fired up. He's going to get them ready to play no matter who they have.
Yeah, they always look fired up, but they're not winning football games.
Exactly. Yeah. So
well,
why keep it if it's not working?
Well,
exactly.
But if they're all, as you said, fired up and they have the morality that they need, maybe it's not a head coach problem. Maybe it's a
if it's a personnel issue, then
I mean it is, but it isn't.
I don't know. It's hard to get to.
They have a bad roster, yes, but
my
they don't
whole
have
thing though, like,
a
here's the
2-win
thing.
roster.
They fired their OC right like weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, Luke Getsy.
Yep.
You fired the OC first quarter of the season in. You fired him. And you have a defensive-led head coach. Now, I'm not saying just because you're a defensive coach doesn't mean you don't know shit about the offense.
Yeah.
You have to.
We have a couple defensive head coaches in the league that have great teams, and the Seahawks are one of them. But it's like when you're going to start fresh and get a new quarterback, ideally, you want your head coach to match the vision of the quarterback, correct?
Yep.
That's why Bo Nix has worked, because Sean Payton knew what he wanted and picked him. Yeah. When everyone labeled Bo as a second-round quarterback and not a good prospect, and simply you're wrong. He's the best quarterback in this class right now. Mm-hmm. Granted, we have a couple quarterbacks who haven't played this season, and you have other ones in much shittier situations, like Drake May, who, if he was in Bo Nix's situation, could be
Drake May's got a lot of potential.
Right now, Bo is the best.
Except if you watch highlights on Drake May for the last game, you see him just drop the ball on the ground.
But that's where my one question comes in is, do you start fresh with the coaching staff for this too? It's similar to the Bears, honestly. Except this team, you got to get the quarterback right too.
If I'm the Raiders, I'm doing a full teardown, full rebuild.
Now that Tom Brady's an official minority owner, don't you want him involved with the coach and the quarterback? Ideally, he should know. No? Your owner is not very great.
Let me give you an example. Right? Tom Brady, great quarterback, great player.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to give me the John Elway example.
Yes, I am.
I knew exactly where you're going with that. Yeah, maybe you're right. But he's not the GM.
Give the example. Give the example for the listeners.
So John Elway, legendary quarterback, fantastic player for the Broncos, came in as the Broncos GM. One of his biggest, I think it was one of his first moves is signing Peyton Manning, right?
Yep.
Obviously, that's a great move.
Couldn't draft one, though.
After that, we went on that quarterback carousel. He was terrible.
Yes, but I said that one of our biggest reasons for this, and you always disagree with me, you have to spend the capital on the quarterback. He never wanted to draft him in the first round. He always wanted to add receivers. He always wanted to add linemen. He always wanted to add defensive ends. You need to have the quarterback right before any other position is going to excel or look good. And when you add the right quarterback, everyone else excels and looks good. Nick Bonito was not a great edge rusher last year. I know it's the opposite side of the ball, but when you get the offense juiced up, your defensive guys are going to get juiced. PS2, we all love him, never really showed, there you go with the jersey, PS2 never really showed super enthusiasm about being in Denver, similar to Jerry Jeudy. But the minute Bo started playing lights out football, he's now advocating for him to be an MVP candidate, not an offensive rookie of the year.
He re-signed.
That too. When you get the quarterback right, you get the rest of the team right, and it all falls into place. John Elway never wanted to do that. He wanted it to be handed to him. That's why he went with Joe Flacco and took Drew in the second round. When we could have had Josh Allen, instead, what would he take? Bradley Chubb. And to this day, I will hate that pick.
I wanted Bradley Chubb so bad. I've never wanted a prospect more than I wanted
Did I like him at the time? Yeah, but I don't know why everyone was so high on him.
Because he looked like the second coming of Von Miller.
Von Miller is Von Miller. It's a one-on-one thing. You find him when you find him and you lose him. There's only going to be one Aaron Donald. We're not going to get another Micah Parsons right away. You know how long it's going to take to find a guy top 10 in the pick or top 10 in the first round to make an immediate impact like he did for the Cowboys?
It's not going to happen.
It's not. It's hard to find. And that's why when you don't have a quarterback, you got to prioritize it. And that's similar to the Seahawks. It's at what point do you finally consider, okay, we need to do this?
But
let me ask you this.
That's a perfect segue when you guys are done.
So how far can you go, though, until you end up like the Cowboys when you spend so much capital on your quarterback for Dak Prescott?
But Denver never even did that. John Elway never even did that. He didn't spend big money. He took cheap deals the money was done right.
We did try that pretty recently.
Well, Russ was different, and that was under George Payton,
Yeah.
not John Elway.
If John Elway had done it.
He wouldn't have. John Elway is
He
known
wouldn't
for
have.
his 6'5" white quarterbacks. He was not going to take a chance on
This is
Russell
true.
Wilson.
This is true.
John Elway puts money elsewhere. He puts it in the secondary and on the defensive line.
Let me ask you this.
Go for it.
You bring up Josh Allen versus Bradley Chubb.
Yes.
Our head coach at that time was Vance Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
We draft Josh Allen. Does he still become Josh Allen?
Well, let's be real. Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen in the first 2 years of his career either. Everyone said he can't play. He throws off his back foot. His footwork's terrible. Sean McDermott's a defensive head coach. Same narrative. Now, I'm not saying we get Josh Allen to we have now because, situational. Football is situational. Your support cast and your location of where you end up matters. So you could argue right now, Bo would not be Bo if he ended up in Washington. Bo would not be Bo if he ended up in Patriots. Mm-hmm. It matters about your coaching, your support cast, and where you land. So yes, you were right that Josh Allen might not be Josh Allen in Denver, but in hindsight, you should have took him over Bradley Chubb. Because where is Bradley Chubb now? Is he even playing for the Dolphins anymore? Is he even contributing?
I don't hear about
I'm
him.
gonna say I haven't heard his name. At least in the first year we traded him to the Dolphins, he was hurt. He was contributing. He had 8 or 9 sacks in that one season. But I don't know. I think
He's
this
the
is my
reason
approach.
He's the reason we got Sean Payton, though.
That's true. And now that we got there, that's where I want to segue into the Cardinals versus Seahawks, Dom.
So
Take the game, but we're going to the quarterback talk.
let's start with the game first.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch this game. I was in work. However, I studied up on this game afterwards.
As you should.
Let's go Seahawks. They have been historically awful at playing in divisional games, yet they took this one in the last one,
2 weeks in a row. they're taking games
49ers
seriously
and the
in division.
Cardinals. Plops them right up at the top of their division. 49ers with the loss this week also drew them down further, so looking good for the Seahawks right now. And that Geno Smith JSN connection continues to grow. I mean, we've seen countless JSN just getting better and better each week.
I was going to say with each week he's proven he's the number one on that team.
And for 6 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown. Nick, go ahead. It looks like you want to say something.
So the Seahawks went from dead last in the division to first place in the division
In 3
in a
weeks.
week.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
1 week. They were last week.
Yeah, if you count this, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, that also says something about the division, too.
I was
Because
going to say
100%.
you've
It's
watched the
the
Niners
most-
lose 2 games in a row
Yeah.
now too, and I said this last week during our pick'ems. The Cardinals are known for showing up not ready to play ball when it matters most, and yes, Kyler did play an okay game on paper, but as a team they could not get it going. I mean, it was a low scoring affair, and you could not put points on the board no matter how much Trey McBride contributed.
James
too.
Conner's not even listed on the.
Dude, their rush
Where did
game
he
was
go?
piss poor.
Yeah.
You didn't get Marvin Harrison involved too much.
Yeah.
Their leading receiver was Trey McBride, which is why I only listed him.
I mean-
and then Kyler contributed as much as he could. I mean, 285 yards should ideally be on a good stat line if you win a game.
Yeah, but we saw a pick out of him right to Kobe Bryant. I mean, that's one of the most.
I was going to say, you need to mention the Seahawks defense because I don't remember specifically what happened, but I remember there was an edge rusher. Or actually, no,
basically,
Witherspoon.
Yeah, it
was in his face.
Yes,
Yeah.
But even if with Witherspoon in his face, there was still plenty of room between Witherspoon.
It's those
and,
young Seattle corners. You got 3 of them that are hungry,
Yeah, but
ball hawks.
I think this is just a blunder by Kyler Murray. He had a guy open, he just overthrew it, and then Kobe Bryant swooped it up, brought it in for a touchdown.
He made the wrong read because when I go back and I look at that play, though, that player's not open. I don't know what Kyler saw. Kobe sat on him on the backside.
Oh no, Kobe was
and
ready
read it
for it. He was just
perfectly. Oh
waiting
yeah,
for
he
it,
knew
yeah.
the ball was coming his way.
And as you said, that says something about just how good the Seattle defense is.
And that's
turning
Mike
out to be.
McDonald contributing and putting his stamp on this defense with all these young pieces, which is why he found this job so attractive. And I would too if I was a head coach or going into a coaching
100%.
cycle.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, ideally, and I keep saying this, are a quarterback away. And that's where I want to get into this. I think that Geno Smith, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hate on it just because I usually shit on you for jokes, but I don't think that Geno is as much. You can't praise him as much as you could 2 years ago, and I think that he is the reason the Seahawks are not as successful, if you will, as they should be. I don't know where y'all stand
It's
with
holding
that.
them back.
Yeah, that's a simple way to put it.
So I'm going to approach this as like a ladder. Let's say the bottom rung is a quarterback that sucks, such as Will Levis, and the top rung is an elite quarterback, such as Josh Allen.
Okay.
So where Geno Smith sits, I think, is so dead middle in between those two that the only way to replace him would be an elite quarterback.
But you're not going to be able to get an elite quarterback just like that. The only way you're going to get it is by finding them in the draft. So that's my question. At what point do you say, kind of like the Niners did a few years ago when they put all the fucking chips forward and gambled on getting the third pick to get Trey Lance. And yes, it didn't work out. But at what point do the Seahawks finally say, because you guys are never going to have an early pick. You guys compete and you play hard until the end of the season, which has kept you guys between the 15 and 20 range of picks.
You're not competing for a top pick. You're not competing for a Super Bowl.
So at what point do you give up the assets and finally say, you know what, Geno's not him, so let's go out there and see if we can scrap a diamond in the rough?
So in this scenario, I think what the Seahawks should do is do what the best they can to keep DK Metcalf, JSNs, and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, because if you get a young guy in that system and they can learn with them, that's a beautiful connection you can have.
We saw Tom Brady come Brock Purdy was like the very last pick in the goddamn
draft. He was Mr. Irrelevant, yeah.
Yep. And then we saw Tom Brady going, the 6th round?
But again, every 20 years you're going to get that. Are you really going to bank on that?
You can't bank on it, but I think that it's
I think the John Elway example is a perfect example right now. You can't just keep picking up bums every other year just because, okay, he's available, let's take him and put him as a depth piece to learn from Geno. Geno is going to be in the league 20 years in the next 5. So eventually you're going to have to do it. Why not do it now? Like Nick, you said earlier. Because you guys have a decent spot. You're not in the window, but the window's starting to open. Get it addressed before it closes and it's too late. You have the young head coach now. Now is the more than perfect time to be aggressive. Put all your chips forward. Trade for a high pick. Go get that quarterback. Now, I'm not saying this year's class. It's not very great. But, in a few years, Arch Manning's going to be in the draft. We're going to have other names. At what point do the Seahawks finally get a face of a franchise and not run it off Geno and some other bums?
It's so hard for me to decide this because as a Seahawks fan, I am really happy with what Geno has been able to turn his career into. You know why?
Because you'd rather this than losing. But could you imagine what it could be if you had the answer at quarterback completely? Historically, you had Matt Hasselbeck over the years. You had some other bums. And the only name you have that's been the face of that franchise was Russell Wilson. At what point is it the next era? When does the future start? When is it time to get a new face of the franchise? Because I know deep down in your heart, Geno is not here in 3 years.
Well, he's getting old.
Exactly.
He's 34, 35 right now?
Yeah, he hit this, not only he's 35, but he's in his 30s. He hit this point in his career too late. I'm glad it happened for his sake, but it's too late for the sake of Seahawks fans and the franchise. You know what I mean?
I know. I completely agree.
Because he could easily be an elite number 2 quarterback on any roster that's a Super Bowl contender or any other team. But in the future, you're going to need that elite guy. And like I just said, you have Arch Manning in a year or two coming out of the draft. Wouldn't you want your roster to be led by a young guy who could be the next big thing?
Yes, but here's the issue. With all the talent that we have right now, I mean, by the time we get a good quarterback, Kenneth Walker's starting to get old. JSN's contract is starting to...
But those positions, and I said this a few weeks ago,
they're replaceable, but with this amount of talent that we have...
is the one position you can't replace easily. You can get new receivers and running backs every year in free agency and every year in the draft. We watch Denver every year take a wide receiver anywhere between rounds 2 and 5, and those are the ones that tend to be our number 1 and number 2 receivers.
Cortland Sutton was a 2nd-round pick.
Yes, receiver and running back, especially in the modern day of NFL, is the least worried position. Yes, you need to have it.
This is where I'm going to leave it because I myself really can't decide. I think that for now we should stick with Geno Smith, but he's not the answer for our future. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
But my only question I want the answer to is how long until you think it's time for them to decide to get the pick right?
I'd say start 3 years. 3 years. See where it goes within the next 3 years.
Letting a 37-year-old Geno Smith come on out for one more
Tom Brady did till he was 44.
Yeah, but he's not Tom Brady. Geno Smith for the first 10 years of his career didn't compete for Super Bowls. He didn't compete for Super Bowls. He sat behind the fucking Jets team, and wherever else he played. But,
he played.
We won't go back and forth. We'll save the rest of this for another episode because I'm sure it'll come back. Let's get to the Eagles and Rams. Dom, you said it earlier. Saquon is making a case for MVP.
And I think we're seeing it more and more. I mean,
in this game,
he's took the franchise record.
You were the one who was pissed about McCaffrey not getting it last year. It's got to be him this year. I honestly would be okay with this if he got it over Allen or Lamar.
So I think now is where I amend my MVP pick from Derrick Henry. I'll give up on Derrick Henry, and I think I'm going to move it over to Saquon Barkley. Also a running back.
I think that is insane.
If a running back is going to win, why? Adrian Peterson won it however many years ago, and I think that this is the closest thing, if not better, you'll get to Adrian Peterson.
He's boiling.
Guys, this is the most valuable player award. 2 years ago, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl without Saquon.
Okay, yes, but why are the Eagles winning right now? Why are the Eagles winning right now? Devontae Smith's not doing shit. A.J. Brown's okay. Jalen Hurts has not been playing to what he was in the Super Bowl.
Take whatever his name is.
Take Saquon out of it. Yeah.
Saquon off this team.
Yep.
They're still
They're
7.
five.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
No, they're not.
No, we don't.
He's literally
we
never been on
No,
this
they're
team before.
The
They've been
beginning
just
of
as
the year.
successful.
The beginning
What are you
of
talking
Nick,
about?
you're full
bro?
of shit.
How?
Wow.
Explain.
If you're gonna go that hard,
Explain.
if you're gonna go that hard, you better have points.
You're
Dom.
Yeah, you better have points. I'm coming
Saquon
for you, bro.
Barkley. Let me come for you first. Saquon Barkley just broke the franchise record for what most
I'm
yards
not
by
saying
one player
Saquon
in a
is
game.
not a good player. Saquon is
he put up
spectacular.
255 rushing yards in this game.
302
Bro,
all-purpose.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift looked fantastic for them last year.
Well, fuck DeAndre Swift. He didn't
What is
break
he doing
franchise
now?
records.
So is DeAndre Swift the most valuable player for the Eagles?
Saquon Barkley is the
shit.
sole reason they run this
freaking-
Rams game. The sole reason they beat the
He's been
Rams.
the sole reason
Okay.
they've had leads in a lot of their games.
Exactly. Without Saquon Barkley,
Are we
see a
saying?
crippled
Are we
Eagles team.
saying the Eagles wouldn't have had leads in any of those games without Saquon?
And
Is that what
this
we're trying to
is
say
why
right
the
now?
Eagles have gone so far under the radar is because the only reason they're winning games is because of Saquon Barkley because they have no other notable player. I mean, what other player
They have
hurdles
AJ
somebody
Brown, Devontae
backwards?
Smith, Jalen Hurts. They have a
What
spectacular
other
offensive
player
line.
have you seen hurdle somebody backwards?
It doesn't matter. That doesn't help you win games.
Obviously, it helped them win something.
Bro,
That goddamn that juke is in Madden now because it's
that's
so
wonderful.
big.
I don't care about Madden. I care about. He's not the
You
most
don't even know
valuable.
what the
He
fuck
is
you're
not-
trying to say.
Because this is insane. This is
You're
probably,
insane.
This is more insane than you saying Derrick Henry is more successful for the Ravens than Lamar.
Jalen Hurts has only had one game over 300 yards this year and another game over 270. Other
Okay.
than that, they've all been under 250. Whereas Saquon Barkley in the first game with the Packers had a 200-yard game, all-purpose
Yeah.
yards, and then multiple times this season has had over 180 yards of all-purpose yards,
Yeah.
and it's continued to have them in leads where all they have to do is run the ball.
Let me ask
I
you.
don't think
Fantasy,
that
let
me
AJ Brown
ask
and Devontae Smith are nearly as close to what they were 2 years ago. Let alone Jalen Hurts, who I think is a great quarterback and have always liked.
So go ahead and explain why you don't think any of those three players are where they were just 2 years ago.
No, not anywhere. I don't think they're to the level they were 2 years ago.
Why?
They're not performing. They're not getting
We
the
can
ball as
see it
much.
Because
in
they're
the
not getting the
stats.
ball as much.
Yes, but when they get the ball, are they showing up? Because A.J. Brown
Yes.
hasn't done shit up until this week. I shouldn't say he hasn't done shit, but hasn't been as nearly as a threat as he once was. And
They're
Devontae
not
Smith has
giving
been
him the
eliminated
chance.
from every game. What do you mean? Devontae Smith has gotten so many targets and has not had a season like he has had in the past. You know what? While we're on that, you guys can keep arguing.
Okay,
I'm going to
Nick,
find Devontae
Nick.
Smith.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Put him up.
So,
Put him up.
Square
so
up, John.
with this being said, would you rather, if you had to pick between the two, would you rather Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley win MVP?
If it came down to those two, I would rather Saquon.
Why?
He's pulling a me, bro.
Why?
I think he's a better player.
What else?
Wait.
That's it.
Why is he a better player? Why is he a better player?
Wait. What'd you ask? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I asked him if he could only pick between Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley winning MVP.
Who'd you pick?
Saquon.
Okay.
And I asked him why.
I just think he's a better player. I don't
why?
think he's.
Why? What about him makes him a better player?
I just think he's. I would take him
No,
over
no,
Derrick Henry.
because you're getting
for
scared now
everything.
because you can't
What
win
am I
this
getting
argument.
scared of? What?
So wait,
what
can I
is?
ask you this? Do you not think he's at least in conversation for MVP at all?
No.
You're so
I think
full of
he's.
shit.
I think he's ahead of Lamar right now.
Yeah.
I think it goes Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, then Lamar Jackson. Who else do you wait? What is your MVP list right now? Conversation, not pick. I know Josh Allen's number one. Don't get me wrong, and I agree with you on it. But where do you have Saquon at all? What does your list consist of?
Saquon, he's probably
Usually it's top three. Out of three, you're not getting considered. So what are your three?
my three. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Saquon fucking Barkley.
No, absolutely not.
Who else?
He's not
Who
a
else?
top
I
three.
need to know
Who's
your
your
three.
third then?
I need to know your third.
Who's
My
your
third,
He's gonna say something stupid.
Geno Smith.
Bro,
Amen.
I'm going.
Amen.
Who's your third? Come on.
Geno Smith.
No.
No.
JSN.
Be okay. You're
Buddy.
smoking crack now.
Me and you are gonna turn against him now.
No. I want to.
No,
I like
I wanna
this.
know your
like
third.
fighting
I
with
wanna
you.
know your
Yeah,
third.
give me your third
I'm
because you're
thinking, bro, I'm
trying
thinking.
everything you could do to avoid Saquon Barkley.
He's not gonna be in my top three regardless.
Who is your number three?
Yes.
Who is your number three, and how is Saquon not near that? What other
Saquon-
player in this league is contributing this much to their team right now in your eyes?
He's
You're
lost for
speechless.
words. He's lost for
Every
words.
freaking starting quarterback, bro.
He's
Every starting
Okay, wait, hold
Not-
on.
not-
So
not every starting
you're one of
quarterback.
those people then that think that only quarterback should be able to win
Most
MVP.
valuable. Most valuable. Not
Just
best.
because-
Not best.
He
most
is
valuable.
Yes. Now let me switch your perspective. Hopefully, Saquon Barkley is the most valuable player to this team, this franchise that's winning 8 games in a row or whatever
he's
the
not.
case is right now. What do you
losing
mean?
my
No,
mind.
he's not. What do you mean he's not? Because there are games last few weeks where
All right,
Jalen Hurts. We've talked about on this podcast last few weeks where Jalen Hurts hasn't done anything and isn't contributing enough, and Saquon Barkley is doing it all.
Saquon Barkley put up more yards this week than Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown did combined.
What I'll try to argue right now is that if I want any player to win other than Josh Allen, I want it to be Saquon Barkley. That's where I guess I'll put my stamp on it.
I think Saquon Barkley should win this period because, yes, Josh Allen is a very elite quarterback and in my top 3 for MVP. But I think similar to Cooper Rush's scenario, you put somebody else there, I think that there's a lot of weapons on that Bills team to help them win. Now, I know you're going to struggle and search for stuff to try to back yourself up, and you're not going to find jack shit because Saquon Barkley is the goddamn MVP, and the Eagles
What
will
are you
not be
talking
where they
about,
are
bro?
right now without them.
What
And
are you talking about? Yes, they would be where they are right now.
And you know I'm
yes,
getting
they would.
into-
They have a fantastic head coach. They have a good defense.
Wait,
They have
wait,
A.J.
wait,
Brown,
wait, wait,
Devontae
wait,
Smith.
whoa. Where would they be without Saquon? Because
Yeah.
DeAndre
Just where
Swift
they are
ate
right
in
now.
Philly. He's in Chicago. They don't have a fucking running back
Did I
without
say DeAndre
Saquon
Swift? I
Barkley.
meant A.J. Brown. I meant A.J.
No,
Brown.
no. You earlier said that last year with DeAndre Swift, they were the
Yes.
same spot they are now. Sure, they were. But he left. He was a free agent. He's not on the team. And Saquon was on the Giants. And he was their most valuable player. And now,
Yep.
if Saquon doesn't go to Philly, what do they have in the backfield and where is Philly right now? You don't got a run game. You're never going to get A.J.
Maybe they
Brown
go
the
after
ball.
Derrick Henry if they don't
No,
get Saquon.
bullshit. It wasn't going to happen. He was
Why
going
not?
to, he was going to the Ravens before he was not even when he was still on the Tennessee Titans.
okay, for the sake of Nick not beating around the bush, what if Saquon Barkley got hurt tomorrow? He broke his leg or something. Something that means he's out. What does this mean for the Eagles? That means their backup plays. Who's their backup?
It means they have to.
Who's their backup?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Boston
You
Scott
want to
even
know
on the
why
team
you
anymore?
don't know? Because Saquon Barkley is the only motherfucking relevant running back on
Buddy,
that goddamn
saying,
team.
Are you saying right now Saquon
Oh,
Barkley
shit.
gets hurt? The Eagles, what do? They lose every game
They're
for the
fucked.
rest of the year?
I think that
How?
I think their
How?
game changes
Because
a lot.
they have no run game.
The game changes
You
a
don't
lot.
need people in the
game
box.
changes a lot.
What are you
But
going to say? They're going to go to the pass game? That game ain't open if the run game ain't open. What are you
Maybe
going
it is.
to rely on
Jalen
Jalen Hurts
Hurts.
to run every fucking play? Are you kidding me?
What if
You're
the Ravens
arguing
been
that?
doing it in the past, bro?
Lamar Jackson had 15 fucking rushing yards this week and has had like under 50
Not
every
this
week
year.
this
Not
season.
this year. Not this year. This year they have Derrick Henry. What were they doing when they had J.K. Dobbins, Gus
Oh,
Edwards?
so now,
Those-
so now you admit that Derrick Henry is a huge part of that.
Oh,
Ravens team.
shit.
I never said he
Shit.
wasn't.
You just said
he wasn't the
you
biggest
just
part.
said they have Derrick Henry now, so there's no need for Lamar Jackson to have over 15 rushing yards per game. That's what you just said.
Exactly. I don't see how that's a bad thing to say.
I'm sorry. I just think Saquon Barkley's in conversation. I think it goes Josh Allen,
gonna
Lamar
lose my
Jackson,
mind.
and then Saquon.
I'm gonna lose my
Actually, it
mind.
might even go Josh Saquon, then Lamar.
I'm gonna lose.
You've
my
already
mind.
lost your mind.
You're right. I have lost my mind.
He just lost all his credibility by admitting he has lost
Oh
his
my
mind.
god, guys! Saquon Barkley's my MVP. That's it. That's it. No more Nick's bullshit.
I'm gonna say where do we
Brother.
want to go from here? Do we want to keep
Brother.
giving him chances, or do we
Nick,
want
your
just...
opinion's invalid in this scenario.
I'm putting a poll on this up tonight.
Yes, do
Go
it.
for it.
Do it.
Go for it.
Do it.
I will.
Do you
Go
know how to
for it.
post on Instagram?
I made our first post. You fucking moron.
Yeah, we're taking shots at our own people now.
Oh my god, let's get on to the Ravens and the fucking Chargers because I can't take this shit anymore.
The Ravens with MVP Lamar Jackson.
Damn, he fucking stole that shit from me right away.
Resident bum Derrick Henry.
No. Wait, what? Go for it. Go for it again. I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again.
You want me going for it?
Yeah, I
now?
want you to go for it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit back.
Take this game. Tell us what your thoughts are, Nick. I really want to hear what you say about this now.
So the Ravens and the Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl. Ravens came out on top, 30-23. Lamar Jackson, 177 pass yards, 2 tutties. As Gabe mentioned, 15 rushing yards. Derrick Henry had 140.
140 yards.
Very impressive. Is this most valuable player?
This is
Numbers?
Mr. If he wasn't on the team, Lamar Jackson would, suck.
Who wasn't on the team last year and Lamar Jackson won the MVP?
I don't think he said Lamar would suck. I think he said that Lamar would run the ball.
There's no
if he
reason
had
for
to.
Lamar to run the ball because they have one of the best running backs in the league, if not the
Do you
best
guys
running
disagree with that?
back.
No.
No, I don't disagree
No,
with
I
that.
don't
You're
disagree.
you're helping
You
my
disagreed
point.
with it 2 minutes ago.
I don't even think he knows what day it is.
I think the disagreement was that you can't even consider. You didn't give us a number 3, but you can't even consider Saquon for 3.
Because I know for a fact he's not 3.
So would you be more comfortable putting Jalen Hurts at 3?
If those are my 2 options to pick at 3, I would put Jalen Hurts.
You're fucking me right now. It's crazy. Like, what? You would put Jalen Hurts over Saquon right now.
Who's their backup right now? Who's their backup quarterback?
Are you smoking crack?
Eagles.
Are you on something?
Sorry, but Saquon Barkley has, dude, this is a legacy season for him.
This is more than a legacy season. This is carrying the Philadelphia fucking Eagles.
All right, so let's say
you're a fantasy owner of Saquon. You should be advocating.
He just put up 45, 50 fucking points.
Jalen Hurts' shoulder falls off in practice today. His whole shoulder falls onto the ground.
Combusts.
He's out forever. Kenny Pickett comes in next week.
Oh my God, Kenny Pickett's ass. What are you getting at?
A thing.
Who do the Eagles even play? Let's say the Eagles.
So are you proving our point that Saquon Barkley would carry the fucking offense?
But
they play the Ravens. Are the Eagles going to beat the Ravens with?
Are the Eagles going to beat
Derrick
the Ravens even with Jalen Hurts?
Probably.
So either way,
So now you're not confident in your MVP pick Lamar Jackson in beating this team.
You're beating around the bush.
I think the Eagles have a better team. I think Lamar's the best player.
Listen, Nick.
Yeah,
and he's not my MVP pick. Josh Allen's my MVP pick.
I think the Eagles lose this game.
You read it, not me.
The Eagles lose this game either way. However, no dip, Sherlock. They're going to do fucking worse if they have their second string quarterback in and not their first string.
So how is Jalen Hurts not the most valuable player on the team?
Because
you just said it yourself. You right there, most valuable. Not best, most valuable.
Dude, it doesn't matter if you're the most valuable player on the fucking team or not. If you're substituting a worse person for a better person, even if you're mid at best, your team is going to do fucking worse.
Brother. Let's say Kenneth Gainwell comes in next week. Saquon Barkley can't play because he has the flu.
You're going to get...
Are you saying that
you're going to get your ass chewed out?
You're saying the Ravens are now going to blow out the Eagles?
Oh, they're going to blow them out,
brother. No.
The Eagles. Listen, the Eagles.
Whoa! You think without Saquon next week, did they still beat the Ravens?
Yeah. I'm going to go out and say that. 100%.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. Either I have too much faith in the Ravens because I just don't see that happening. If Saquon's not there, my fucking money's on the Ravens. Too bad Saquon ain't hurt and I can put my money where my mouth is, but,
I don't know.
You can put the simulation in Madden and see what happens.
Bro, Madden is the most inaccurate thing.
I don't know what to say.
Probably ever.
Dude, I don't even want to get to the last game, dude. Fuck football now.
What even is the last game?
Ravens and Chargers. That's right.
Who cares,
you were just Oh, wait. We already started the game, didn't we?
Yeah, I started it, then we went right back to where we were before.
Because we need to finish it.
Okay, well.
You know what? The Ravens beat the Chargers.
Very good game.
John Harbaugh continues to win. End of fucking discussion because Saquon's discussion was way more important.
Yep.
Do we have any more thoughts we want to leave it with? Or
nope. Let's get out to those goddamn games for week 13 before I lose my goddamn mind. Thanksgiving week, boys.
He doesn't know what he's doing now.
Okay, so we got 2 Thanksgiving games this Thursday. And Gabe, what are your thoughts?
My name's Gabe, not Gabe. Thanksgiving game number 1, I believe, is at 12:30. We got Bears at Lions.
Lions raped the Bears.
Whoa, okay. I mean, yeah, you put it lightly. I'm gonna go Lions as well. And if the Lions lose this, dude, the fucking NFL is crazy. Because this is the number 1 team in my eyes. You got to beat the Bears. Yep. I know it's a divisional matchup, but you got to beat the Bears.
There's no way you don't.
The other game's not even worth mentioning. Giants and Cowboys. Yep, screw that.
The game's boring as fuck.
3-0.
Actually, I do want to see Drew Lock play. If he doesn't play, I don't give a shit.
Yep, I do.
They're doing some bullshit halftime stuff like they did last year with Jack Harlow. I don't remember who it was, but there is a halftime show for Thanksgiving games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's worth noting or not, but why don't we get to the primetime games, Nick?
So the Dolphins and the Packers are playing in Green Bay. Tua historically struggles in cold weather games, so it'll be interesting to see if that trend
all of our brains freeze a little bit. I mean, his is a little bit more damaged than ours, but don't we all freeze up a little bit?
Let's keep our chin straps unbuckled, boys.
That's the 2 away, man. You're gonna play good football. You
gotta have that one. Lead with your head. Life's short. Lead with the head.
I think I'm gonna go Packers, but I think I'm the only one who is excited for this game.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I do want to see Tua in the Colt because if he does win, we got one hell of a storyline to talk about next week. So I'm praying for that sake.
But if he does win, then they're kind of creeping up closer to the Broncos for that 7th spot.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't like that.
We're good.
I don't like that.
We're good.
And Sunday Night Football, very good one.
Oh
that
my
I'm looking
God, I'm
forward
actually
to.
so excited.
Another snow game.
Yes, now we mentioned the
49ers
snow.
versus the Bills.
I'm gonna go Bills. The Niners have been on a
100%.
MVP Josh Allen.
Niners on a 2-game losing streak, and to Nick's point, I guess he is right in this aspect. Brandon Allen ain't winning them shit. So if Brock Purdy ain't suiting up, it's definitely the Bills win.
Even if Brock Purdy does suit up.
On top of that, I think the Bills are more suitable to play in this weather. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's there.
Yeah.
Yep. Monday Night Football. I took work off for this. I know it ain't a big game, but it's a game, and it's a primetime game.
It's a big game.
It is a big game. Any win is a big game for us this week or this season. We've got the Denver Broncos facing the Cleveland Browns, who have snuck a few big wins this season. So I don't want to underestimate them. But
you can't take them out.
But
the Broncos should statistically take this
I am
game.
going Denver Broncos.
Me too.
You should win this game. You need to win this game. You need it more than you should want to. I already know your pick, but give it to us.
Broncos.
I'm sticking with
Did you speak for him?
Well, he obviously can't speak for himself.
brother. I opened my mouth and he just.
Okay,
This is Nick. This is Nick.
I wish the viewer, if you're not,
Who got Beastquake first?
if you're not watching it, you're not gonna know why it was funny. But
You'll see it on clips on the Instagram. Don't worry. It'll be up there. It'll be fun.
are you sure?
Oh, I'm putting it up there. Unlike Nick, I know how to post to Instagram.
Or are you gonna be able to get to it? I know you're a busy
Are you
man
sure?
over there. I know you're mowing all them
Listen,
lawns and shit.
He's got to wake up to
Listen, I'm the one with the SD card.
Dom, it's
so-
almost
leaves
your
are in?
bedtime. Are you getting mad? It's almost 11:30.
I am. I'm tired. I
All
want
right.
to go to bed.
All right, so we all going Broncos.
Yep.
All right. For other games,
Not even worth
or-
mentioning the first one.
No, what do you mean? It's the Black Friday game on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix.
Netflix?
The fucking NFL gives a fuck. They want to.
Is it gonna end up like a Tyson
bitch, I'm
fight?
trying to get clicks for the
Guys,
podcast, so I'm thinking, can
it's
you let me
Black
talk?
Friday. I want to watch the Raiders and the fucking Chiefs play.
The Raiders do wear black.
State the fucking obvious.
Thanks, Nick. I thought
Holy
they were
shit.
fucking orange.
Hey, Black Friday,
Yo,
you
wait.
gotta have the team that wears black.
Yo,
in
wait,
there, bro.
Black Friday game generates clicks. This is a fucking clip. The Raiders do wear black, boys. In case you didn't know.
Bringing out Booger
the Raiders are black.
McFarland for the
Raiders wear black.
podcast.
If you take anything away from this podcast, it's what the fucking
The
Raiders
Raiders wear black.
wear. All right, Seahawks versus Jets. The Seahawks better fucking win this game, because if they don't, I'm shitting on you.
I think I'm just gonna hang up the hat if they lose this game. I mean,
Tom's gonna become a full Steelers fan if they
yeah,
lose this game.
yeah. I'm follow Russ. I'll be like all those Tom Brady fans.
I
that
think you
follow-
are a fucking Steelers fan.
I am a Steelers fan, but not like I'm a fan, but I'm obviously Seattle's my team.
This is Dom's last episode. I'm kidding. All right, it's past your bedtime. I don't want to keep you long.
Okay, and Saquon Barkley MVP.
I just said that it's past your bedtime. I don't want to keep you long. Next game, Eagles versus Ravens.
Saquon Barkley MVP.
I'm going Eagles.
Bro,
Why'd you roll it, Nick?
Because I didn't know what to do.
I'm going.
Because I thought about Nick trashing me for picking the Ravens, and after I just argued Saquon, I'm gonna go Philly. I'm not confident, but I'm gonna go Philly.
Eagles take this game.
Yep,
And
So wait, what is your pick?
Eagles.
no.
you fucking kidding?
But he did say this. He said the Eagles are winning with Saquon or without Saquon.
Oh, okay.
So it matches what he said
Okay.
earlier.
Bro's
He's full
just
of
like
shit.
making up his own narrative
I just
over
got
there.
confused. All right, that's my bad.
He's
It's
full-
the
Yeah, you got
CTE kicking
confused,
in.
all right.
It's the fucking CTE. All right.
Bro's got the
sorry.
Tua disease.
Hey, I played football long enough. I might have it. You never know. I won't know until I'm dead, but Cardinals versus Vikings.
Vikings better win.
I was going to
this.
say the Cardinals after last week. I'm going to go Vikings.
I hope the Cardinals lose because if they lose, pushes them further down that division. It's
I'm picking the Cardinals.
He's just picking against you, Dom.
I think I don't
Are
have
you
faith
going
in
to
Sam
talk, or are you
Darnold.
just going to sit there and smile like a dumbass?
I'm gonna.
Yo, be careful. You're going to unplug the mics. The end of the podcast is going
We don't
shit.
want to listen to these guys anyway. I don't have faith in Sam Darnold. I've said it all year.
And Sam
I'm gonna
Darnold
keep
doesn't
saying
have
it.
faith in you.
I'm gonna go against
I
Sam
don't think Sam
Darnold.
Darnold knows who we are, but I'm going Vikings.
Vikings.
Cardinals.
Nick, you're alone on this one. Well, that was a fun episode to say the least. That's all I got for this week. Are you guys good?
I'm good.
You good? All
I'm
right.
good.
Well, I do want to throw out there, it is Thanksgiving week. In a couple days, we're going to be filling up on some good old turkey. I know I will be. So with that, we are heading into the holiday season. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great holidays. And with that, yes, indeed, watch some football. Watch some Turf Talk podcast.
Not the Cowboys and Giants.
Follow socials. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. All of it's linked in each other's bios. There's no way you can't find it. So please go support. It helps us out. It helps us get you guys fun content. It helps us keep doing what we love to do.
Promotes our passion.
Exactly. And with that, have a great holiday season as we're getting closer into it. Join the huddle, join the talk with the Turf Talk podcast.